What's up, guys? So today we're exposing the Tides Foundation. And the Tides Foundation, and they have a revenue of 511,078,682. This is from Artawabet. And assets worth 531,362,799. And it's been a consistent benefactor of, and they fund JVP. They fund the liberal losers at the Sierra Club. They fund the liberal losers at Amnesty International. They fund Code Pink. They fund Zionist Organization, if not now, Zionist Organization JVP and Zionist Organization J Street. And they have previously funded the new Zionist Fund and Zionist Policy Forum. And there are these fucking NGO leeches, man. So this is from NGO Monitor. So check it. So in 2022, the Tides Network's total revenue was $674.1 million. Total expenses were $1 billion. In 2021, Tides received $25.8 million from the Open Society Foundation, which is George Soros. In 2019 to 2021, Tides received $44,980 from the New Zionist Fund. In 2023 to 2026, the Tides Foundation received $540,000 from the Rockefeller Brothers Fund, of which Palestine Legal, which is a U.S. NGO, received $240,000, and Adala Justice received $300,000. That's suspicious. It's like the Tides Foundation and George Soros and the Rockefellers, they're trying to subvert the Palestine liberation movement. So the Tides Center was created by the Tides Network to manage fiscal sponsorships for social change leaders and ventures. It currently serves as a fiscal sponsor to 90 social ventures and granted $268.7 million in fiscal sponsorships in 2020. In 2014, the Zionist NGO Adala created the Adala Justice Project in Boston with the goal of transforming American perception, policy, and practice in Palestine into a human rights approach that guarantees historical justice and equality for all. So there's no mention of decolonization there. So the fact that Adala, which is a Zionist NGO, is involved with the Tides, that's another big red flag. So the Tides Foundation has provided funding to the American Friends Service Committee, Center for Constitutional Rights, Code Pink, Grassroots International, JVP, if not now, and the National Lawyers Guild. So, again, Code Pink's a pretty sketchy organization. So check out all these Zionist institutions that the Tides funds. Alliance for Middle East Peace, that's Zionist. B'Tselem, that's Zionist. Code Pink is Zionist. Human Rights Watch, if not now, J Street, JVP. Médecins Sans Frontières, Oxfam America, the New Zionist Fund, Truah. Those are all Zionist organizations. They're all getting money from these losers at the Tides Fund, the Tides Network. Truah got $10,000. The Zionist Fund got $12,000. JVP got, first they got $100,000, then they got $75,000. J Street got $10,000, $20,000, $70,000, and $75,000. If not now, got $10,000, $35,000, $20,000, and $45,000. Code Pink got $25,000, $54,000, and then $54,000. Right? So sketchy organizations. And the Tides they're sketchy, man. So the Tides, they're not even left wing. They're not even left leaning. An affiliated group, Tides Advocacy, is a massive progressive incubator. Progressive has no meaning at this point. Tides has received substantial funding from George Soros. Again, he's a Zionist. And the key people involved with Tides, Janice Evans Page. Connection to Jody Evans? Potentially, right? Potentially. So Tides was founded in 1976 by Drummond Pike, who worked with Jane Bagley Lehman, Lehman Brothers, heir to the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company fortune. Again, pretty sketchy, right? Tides has received at least $3.5 million from liberal financier and Zionist Jewish activist George Soros, or Zionist Jewish troglodyte George Soros. Can't trust the Tides there, eh? And you can read about the Open Societies Foundation run by George Soros. Can't trust them. And how does this tie into Jody Evans and Code Pink? Right? How does this tie into Jody Evans and Code Pink? And Neville Singham, because we're going to tie all these together, man. Because Code Pink is Zionist. Code Pink is Zionist. Right? They're liberal Zionists. That's why they're funded with, that's why they cooperate with the Dala, which is a liberal Zionist organization. Right? Code Pink is a Zionist organization. They're liberal Zionists. Right? Again, Code Pink is a bunch of liberal Zionists. Right? And look at where they get their funding, right? Medea Benjamin, Jody Evans, Diane Wilson, Starhawk, and about 100 women set up a 4-month all-day vigil in front of the White House to stand for peace and stop the U.S. from the invading Iraq. And so Code Pink was founded in 2002. And they're founded by Jody Evans and Medea Benjamin. According to a number of reports, a more major portion of Code Pink's funding comes from Neville Roy Singham, a Sri Lankan American billionaire and puppet of China, who is married to co-founder Jody Evans. According to the New York Times, the corrupt, racist, Zionist New York Times, so since 2017, about a quarter of Code Pink's donations, more than $1.4 million, have come from two groups linked to Mr. Singham. In 2020, the Tides Foundation granted $54,500 to Code Pink. Co-founder Medea Benjamin is also the president of the Benjamin Fund, which according to its 2022 Form 990 has assets totaling approximately $47.9 million and provided Code Pink with $355,350. The Benjamin Fund has also granted funds to American Muslims for Palestine, Amnesty International, Christian Peacemakers, Defense for Children Fund, Palestine, U.S. Campaign for Palestinian Rights, Grassroots International, Zionist Organization, JVP, Middle East Children's Alliance, and National Lawyers Guild. So, again, Code Pink is a Zionist organization. And the fact that they're tied to the Zionist Tides Fund, or Tides Network, who is run by none other than, let's go back to it, the Tides Foundation or Tides Fund or whatever the fuck they're called, they're run by Janice Evans Page. Jody Evans, who's probably related to Janice Evans Page, is married to Neville Roy Singham. Now, Jody Evans is also the co-founder of Code Pink. And this is where it gets even more dicey. Let's read a little bit about this guy, Neville Roy Singham. Neville Roy Singham, born May 13, 1954, is a Zionist puppet of China, American businessman, and supposed social activist, fake activist. Singham started a consulting business with partners who are active in the propaganda apparatus of the Zionist Chinese Communist Party. That's pretty sus. Singham's father, Archibald Singham, was Sri Lankan, while his mom was Cuban. Again, the Desi community will sell you out for Zionist China in a jiffy, right? Let's be honest with it. So Singham founded ThoughtWorks, a Chicago-based IT consulting company that provides custom software tools and consulting services in the late 1980s. It was incorporated in 1993. From 2001 to 2008, Singham was a strategic technical consultant for Huawei. In 2005, ThoughtWorks opened up offices in Zionist China. By 2008, ThoughtWorks employed around 1,000 people and was growing at the rate of 20 to 30%, with bases around the world. Clients included Microsoft, Oracle, major banks, and the Guardian newspaper. Singham owned 90% of the common stock of the company. By 2010, its clients included Daimler AG, Simons, and Barclays, and it opened a second headquarters in Bangalore. So, again, just to sum it up, Neville Singham is a puppet of Zionist China, and he's part of the ruling class. What the fuck is he doing funding Code Pink? And also, what the fuck is he doing funding Breakthrough News and PSL? As we will find out, right? So, in 2010, he opened ThoughtWorks Fifth Agile Software Development Conference in Beijing, where he spoke about his influence on Huawei. Singham sold the company to private equity firm Apex Partners in 2017 for $785 million. By which time it had 4,500 employees across 15 countries, including Drickus, the land where Drickus was born, South Africa. I don't know why I said land where Drickus was born. South Africa, which is a settler colony occupied by Drickus, and Uganda. Its chief scientist, Martin Fowler, wrote that Singham had not been involved in running the business for some years by that time. After selling the company, he moved to Zionist China, where he owns or co-owns a number of businesses based there. So, the China bender, the Chinese puppet, Neville Singham, has his fingerprints all over Code Pink. That's pretty suspicious. He started consulting business with partners active in the Chinese Communist Party propaganda apparatus in 2019. Singham has business interests in China, in the food and consultancy markets. As of 2023, his office in Shanghai, and is shared with the Maku Group, whose goal is to educate foreigners about the scams that China has created on the world stage, which has given nearly $100.8 billion funding. So, interesting. So, get this. Chinaman Singham, Chinese puppet Neville Singham, is a supporter of WikiLeaks and its founder, Julian Assange, speaking in his defense in 2011 event hosted by the Real News Network, alongside fellow activist software businessman Peter Thiel. You know, the guy who's a Zionist and a criminal. And former intelligence whistleblower Daniel Ellsberg. Alongside Ellsberg, he has also advocated for hackers such as Jeremy Hammond and Aaron Swartz, who worked for him at ThoughtWorks. Singham is a friend of Swartz. Described his prosecution as a part of a coordinated campaign. So this motherfucker is associating himself with this libertarian douchebag, this Silicon Valley tech bro, Peter Thiel, or however you say his name. That's a bad look on Singham's part there. So, in July 2023, Singham joined a Communist Party workshop about international promotion of the Chinese Communist Party. According to his associates, Singham is an admirer of Mao. So he's a puppet of China. So in 2021, India's Enforcement Directorate named Singham in a money laundering case, alleging that he was the source of 380 million rupee given to the Indian news site People's Dispatch between 2016 and 2021 to promote a pro-Chinese narrative in the Indian media. The funds were alleged to have passed through a network of companies and NGOs, including Delaware-based Worldwide Media Holdings, allegedly owned by Singham, and Justice and Education Media, G-Span LLC, and the Tricontinental Institute, which allegedly shared the same address, and in the U.S., and Centro Popular de Mídias Brasil. Interesting. According to a January 2022 report by Newslines Magazine and the Newslines Institute, a think tank led by Hassan at the Fairfax University in America, Singham has donated almost $65 million to nonprofit organizations, including Code Pink, that take Zionist Beijing's side on genocide allegations. In 2022, the publication of the new frame was shut down in South Africa after receiving most of its money since 2018, launched discreetly through Singham. The staff wanted to keep raising money to continue the project, with some suspecting that was the only publication not to have fallen in line ideologically with the rest of Singham's network of outlets. According to a May 2023 article in the Daily Beast, there are connections between Singham's and organizations on the left that promote Zionist China talking points, including Breakthrough News, People's Dispatch, and other members of the International People's Media Network. The article said there was overlapping personnel at a number of these media organizations and media outlets without actual office locations. The article said that some members of Breakthrough News leadership are affiliated with the Party for Socialism and Liberation. Again, another Zionist China cult. Zionist Chinese puppets. So Singham lives in the shithole known as Shanghai, China. He's married to Code Pink co-founder Jody Evans, who has become pro-China after marrying Singham in 2017. Singham has also become a major donor to Code Pink, with organizations from his network providing around a quarter of the budget. His son, Nathan Singham, works for the Tricontinental Institute for Social Research, which he funds. Man, this guy's a fucking dirty guy. So the police in India allege that the Delhi police also opened an investigation in a news clip focused on the funding by Singham and its role in pushing a pro-China narrative. The police allege that email communications between Singham, Vijay Prashad, Prabir, and their associates established that Singham was actively pushing the China line on COVID, despite mounting criticism of the same from the international community. Singham is seen clearly nudging Prabir and the PPK news team to peddle the Chinese version. You guys know how I feel about China. I hate China. Oh, and did you know that Singham is funding PSL? That's right. So BTN, Breakthrough News, closely works with the Tricontinental Institute for Social Research and has often hosted Tricontinental founder Vijay Prasad. So the People's Forum. PSL leadership are closely involved with the People's Forum and event space in NYC. Claudia de la Cruz sits on the board, and Neville Singham funds the organization. Yeah, fuck these Chinese bastards. These Zionist Chinese funded. And yeah, PSL is Marcyite. PSL supports the Zionist Party of China, criticizing only its capitalist reforms. PSL argues that the militant political defense of the Zionist Chinese cult is necessary to stave off counter-revolution, imperialist intervention, and dismemberment. PSL defends Zionist China's shitty human rights record. Again, they're a bunch of Chinese puppets. They're funded by China. You guys know how much I'm anti-China and anti-China light. Let's click on Claudia de la Cruz. So she's from the South Bronx. She's Dominican, right? And she's the executive director of the People's Forum, which she co-founded. And you know who the People's Forum is funded by? You know who the People's Forum is funded by? Chinese puppet Neville Singham. I shit you not. I shit you not. Oh yeah, Breakthrough News, Tricontinental Institute for Social Research. They're also funded by Neville Singham. Eugene Puryear, he's funded by Neville Singham as well. Right? I am strongly anti-China. I think China's a Zionist shithole. And I think Yemen, Palestine, and Lebanon need to demolish China after we demolish the Zionists, the U.S. empire, and England, right? China's the second largest trading partner of the Zionist entity, which is well documented. And that's why you can't trust China. That's why you can't freaking trust China. And then you got war criminal Mike Preisner, who should be in prison, involved with the PSL. Again, he's a cuck from Tampa. And he's a war criminal who committed war crimes in Iraq. And he's a puppet of Zionist China. He's involved with Zionist PSL and the Zionist Answer Coalition. And he's funded by Neville Singham. And then you got Zionist Abby Martin. She's also a Zionist. She makes excuses for Zionist squatters. And I'm pretty sure she's funded by Neville Singham. And she shit on Steven Saleta when Steven Saleta called out Bernie. So, yeah. So that's why you can't trust these losers at PSL, because they're all puppets of Zionist China. Oh, what about Gloria de la Riva? Gloria La Riva. Is she a puppet of Zionist China? Because you can't trust China. You can't trust China. So there you go. You can't trust China and you can't trust Neville Singham. So there you go.